And for our kids to come back in the last 2 minutes and 13 seconds to win that game, that's teaching them how to win. And it's a credit to our football team. It's a credit to the character of the kids on our team. It's awful easy to throw it in when you're behind with a couple minutes to go. But thank the Lord they didn't, and we won, and we're 2-0.
Let's talk about some of your kids. First of all, Hardy, your running back, Gilmore, your fullback, good games in Utah.
They did have, and we expect to run the ball well here at San Diego State. We've always been a good passing team, and this is a good passing team, but we want to rush the ball too some and get good balance. And probably Hardy and Gilmore, in my estimation, would be the two best tandem backs in the conference. Everybody has one pretty good back. We're fortunate we have two.
All right, Todd Santos, your outstanding junior quarterback who's about to become San Diego's all-time leading passer.
Well, he's a talent. There's no question about it, and he's been able to bring our ball club back. At times he's a little bit rough. He makes some mistakes here and there, but he'll get better, and he'll read the defenses better as we get more familiar with each other, and he gets more familiar with my offense. But I have no complaint about Todd. He's had 2 fine ball games.
All right, 2 games down, 2 victories. Now you're in the middle of UCLA week. What about the Bruins? They're going to be madder than heck after getting skunked by Oklahoma.
Well, they're an awesome football team. You know, they were embarrassed at Oklahoma, but Oklahoma can make you look bad, too. Oklahoma probably is the best team in the United States, college football team. And they run the wishbone, and UCLA did not defense them very well. And but the UCLA team I'm familiar with is the one that just tore Iowa apart in the Rose Bowl, and they're very talented and were picked to be in the top 2 or 3 in the country, and they'll be one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the nation. This is the most talent that we'll face this year.
Who do you fear UCLA? Eric Ball, maybe?
Right? Yeah, all their running backs. Ball is a good one. I think he scored 3 or 4 times against San Diego State last year. Then he was hurt a little while. Then he scored 4 times in the Rose Bowl coming off the bench. So when you got players like that, you have to be good. But they have a number of backs, and obviously they're very talented.
Denny, you brought excitement back to football at San Diego State. Thank you for taking time to make this program a better program, and we'll be looking for you and rooting for you on Saturday night.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Okay. For our show, we're going to be talking with a couple of San Diego-based sports writers about the Bruins and the Aztecs and about the big game on Saturday night. See what they think. They've been covering these teams for quite some time. First of all, we'll be chatting with Bill Stenner from the San Diego Union. Bill has been with the Pac-10 now for almost a decade covering Pac-10 sports. Then we'll go to Ed Zieralski. Ed has been covering the Aztecs for a couple of years. Although he's from the East, he's well acquainted with the Western style of football. And Ed, let's start with you. When I spoke with you at before the first game at Long Beach, we were at San Diego State watching practice. You said you noticed a difference in the attitude of the team even before they lined up against the 49ers. Explain that, if you would.
Yeah, I think Denny Stolz came in, and the first thing he did was tell a lot of these guys that they were going to be his guys, especially the 40 and 45, 4th and 5th year men. That pumped them up. They came out and they're playing for him right now. I noticed that change in practice back in training camp, and it carried over to the Long Beach game when they came back and won, and then they win again against Utah, which I think is probably one of the biggest wins this team has had since they've joined the WAC.
So we're talking about an attitude change from the Scoville years to the Stolz years.
Yeah, I think so. I think
it's very noticeable.
Yeah, you're talking about a college coach in Denny Stolz, and Doug Scoville. He was a good offensive mind, had a good offensive mind, but I don't think his approach to the game was one in which he had the overall college atmosphere where he divided the ball up to a lot of the receivers, and the kids have a new, just a whole new beginning is what I think they feel they have here.
Now, the Aztecs are 2-0. When we talked before the Long Beach game, did you think they'd be 2-0 in your heart? Really?
I thought they'd be 1-0 going into Utah, and Utah was a big. that was an upset. Yeah. They were 9-point underdogs when they finally got there. They were 7 when they left here or whatever. But for them to pull that game up in Salt Lake City, I mean, with 35,000 screaming people throwing things at them, yelling at them, and believe it or not, even throwing beer in Salt Lake City of all places. That's what one of the kids told me.
What's this world coming to?
Hey, really, I'm telling you, it's falling apart. But I really think, to pull that win off was a major victory. Yeah. It can't be understated in any way.
All right, now, last year, you remember, the defense was atrocious. I mean, let's face it, the Aztecs were ranked 103rd out of 105 Division I-A schools. You can't get much worse than that.
You can't.
This year, they've turned that attitude around.
the defense is a whole new defense. It's similar to what the Bears run in terms of a lot of different looks. They put their speed men on the field side, they put their strong men on the short side, and they have the strong men go helmet to helmet, and they have the other guys go cleat to cleat, and it really matches up very well. And Tim McConnell, their new defensive coordinator, is really getting the most out of him. Going into this game against UCLA, I believe they're ranked 8th in the country against the rush. Of course, they played Long Beach and Utah, and they don't throw the football, but we'll see. We'll have a better idea of how good they are against the rush when they go against Gaston Green and Primus and Eric Ball.
And all the people.
Eric Ball's hurting a little bit. We'll have to see if he can play.
All right. You brought up UCLA. Let's go over to Bill Center now. Bill, you've been watching the Pac-10. You watched SC last weekend in their opener. What about UCLA? Were you surprised that they were annihilated at Oklahoma, first of all?
I was surprised the score was what it was, but UCLA traditionally is a slow-starting football team. It usually takes them a game to get... last year when they beat BYU in the opener, it was sort of the exception to the rule at UCLA. They've always been a little slow to come around. One of the reasons is that this is the 5th straight year they will start a fifth-year senior at quarterback. Actually, he's the 4th in a row to start there for the first time, Matt Stevens. And it usually takes him a little time. And I think it'll be a lot different UCLA team that you see this week.
Well, let's look at it this way. The Aztecs are 2-0 coming into the Bruin game. The Bruins are madder than wet hens. I mean, they were embarrassed at Oklahoma. They have to live and try and survive in that major market called Los Angeles with SC across town winning their opener. Now, you know, the Bruin players, although they're still regarded as the gutty little Bruins, maybe this year they're a little smaller than usual. Maybe that's why Oklahoma did what they did to them.
Well, you have to, remember, in preseason practice, you have to prepare for a whole year, and you only settle down to prepare for the first game about 2 weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not play the pitch option very well at all at Oklahoma. It really gave them a lot of problems. Well, they're going to see in San Diego State more of a team that they're going to be seeing for the rest of the year. And I would expect that the UCLA team that plays here will be a lot different than the one that played at Oklahoma.
They'll be a little healthier, I think. Eric Ball might be back. He's still nursing a nagging injury, but my goodness, he's the star of their backfield, so you know how good he is. Ed, let's talk about the San Diego State kicking game, for example, okay? Mm-hmm. Kevin Rahill, a soccer kicker. Mm-hmm. They wanted to put him on the JV team, as I understand it. He said, I'll have none of that. I want to play in the varsity football team. How did that come about? What happened?
Exactly. Well, he walked in from the soccer team and took the job. And it was amazing because he went against John Palatella, and Tom Worth, who were competing all training camp. This guy walked in, and in 5 days he won the job, and it surprised me very much, and it surprised a lot of people. But the team has rallied around him. They've taken him under their wing, and he has to kick a pressure kick now. Mm-hmm. He's had a couple field goals and some extra points in the last game. He didn't get called on to kick a field goal at all. So I think that's a gray area on the Aztec team. He's yet to prove himself totally, and that's something you'll have to watch.
In today's style of football, the offense, the defense, and the kicking game are the 3 critical parts of the game. John Lee is gone from UCLA, Bill, as you well know. He's now kicking for the St. Louis Cardinals. Their kicker is not really proven yet. 2 years ago in '84 when UCLA won 18-15, I think it was 6 John Lee field goals that won it. Well, if it comes down to that again, I'm not sure the Bruins have a guy like John Lee.
Well, they definitely do not, but I really think that to get away from the kicking game, there's a great matchup in this game. Mm-hmm. Right? And that is Homer Smith against the Aztec, who is the UCLA offensive coordinator, against McConnell. Mm-hmm. And these might be 2 of the more forward-thinking people in college football right now. Homer Smith has certainly done wonders with the UCLA offense. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Aztec defense can do with the different looks that UCLA will throw them this time.
Well, Smith is a very daring innovator. He loves that kind of football. Not afraid to throw the ball, and he believes in Matt Stevens, although Matt's first game was not so good. McConnell, I think I read in the paper that he feels he has some of the best athletes he's ever had, definitely, even at Bowling Green, where he was with Denny last year. So,
but the thing about Homer is you don't know what he's going to do in this game, because he is UCLA will give you a number of different looks and sets and offense. And twice now he's gone into the Rose Bowl and completely revamped what UCLA has done on offense. I mean, totally thrown out everything that they had run and put in a whole new system. Mm-hmm. And coming off the Oklahoma loss and the way that their offense functioned there, I would have a feeling that you will see a lot different look from UCLA this game?